Yeah, now we have recording start.
Perfect. Well, Mikhailo, I just want to say it's great to see you again. We haven't spoken for a little while. And obviously, we're glad to see that you're safe and well. And we know that you and the team have put together this this seminar and this presentation under extreme circumstances. You know, I don't know, you know, I presume that other people are doing similar things, but, you know, we're going to be looking back on this and say, well, look, if you think you're having problems putting the seminar together, how about this?
Yeah. You know, it is one of the few webinars from the war zone.
Exactly. So we will keep everything crossed, and that, you know, that everything keeps going. And I was just going to say to you, you know, that obviously when we gave the title to the seminar, you know, and we just basically said, oh, cybersecurity after the pandemic. Right, yeah. Which of course, and the pandemic of course was the big event, wasn't it, for us all, you know. I was just going to say to you, try and just like put the war aside for a minute, right, and think back to, you know, before the war and the pandemic, and after that, what were the, you know, cybersecurity wise, what were the changes in Ukraine during the pandemic?
Yeah, after the pandemic started in 2020, we have several challenges for, you know, for our medical infrastructure, for our hospitals, because we are not really prepared for such kind of pandemic. Maybe we are not only a country with such kind of problem, but yeah. what is really help us is our digital infrastructure. We already have some projects with World Bank and with the different countries, and we created resilient infrastructure, not only, you know, not only in mobile, not only mobile one, but a fixed one. So we have a very good internet connection, and in some sense, it saved us during this 2020. Because it's easy for us to switch to remote schooling, to digital healthcare. It's not easy to the doctors. It's not easy to the teachers. It's not easy to the people, but it's easy from the infrastructure point of view. Yeah, we have a good connection. It helps a little bit to fix this. To fix this issue. In 2021, we start to recover from the pandemic, because we already have this vaccine, we have this vaccination process. We start to recover, but after the February 24 of this 2022 year, we have this, you know, this dark humor quote that after February 24, we already heal COVID-19, just because it's not our priority problem after the February.
Exactly.
24. Yeah. So before this date, we have several COVID-19 outbreaks. We have this continuing vaccination process, so we are still thinking about it. But after February 24, all our thoughts only about the war, and we don't have any communications about COVID-19. That's why we say that we already healed from COVID-19, because we have a danger from a different side, from the another side. But even after February 24, we have this resilience of the internet infrastructure, and it helped us a lot to stay connected. During this, you know, The main challenge of this war, not for such people like me, not military people, is that we don't know anything. So this situation of unpredictability it's very stressful. But because we have a good internet connection, a fixed one and mobile one, it helps us to stay connected. It helps us to have some news, to know what's going on, and on some level, it's it's part of our victory. But having such digital infrastructure always has a dark side. A dark side is the cybersecurity, because if you have a good digital infrastructure, you are vulnerable. You are vulnerable to the different kind of cyber attacks, and it means that you need to be very careful about how this infrastructure have used before and after. Give me a second. I give some make a host, change host. Well, and that's why for us, cybersecurity start to be the problem number 2, just because problem number 1 is still here. And we understand that it's good to share some knowledge about this field, because cybersecurity is a sphere is developed so quickly that without international cooperation, without this international discussion about the experience, I don't think that any nation is able to fix all their cybersecurity problems just by themselves. So you can do it only cooperating. And why, and that's why I prepare some small presentation about the cybersecurity lessons, because it's interesting to hear your thoughts about it. To use it to exchange and to see your thoughts about our experience, even extreme one. So give me a second to share this presentation. As you see, I pay attention only to the one field of the cybersecurity, how to secure the critical infrastructure, because I know that your Chris is a good one with a cybersecurity for home offices, for the small companies, personal cybersecurity. But here in Ukraine, we have a different challenge. We need to think about cybersecurity of critical infrastructure, and I'm as a part of this defense team. For me, it's a pleasure to share some thoughts about cybersecurity for critical infrastructure.
Yeah, that's great. Yep.
Yeah. So on February 24, we have this problem with missiles and with cyber war, because when a large scale missile attack began on February 24, it's also it was accompanied by attack in cyberspace. So we have a lot of governmental system down. The banking system is still was resilient, so it's for them it was a large experience, but they stay resilient. And in February 24, state structure, energy and power grid infrastructure, and data center were attacked. For example, they completely destroyed the governmental data center where all governmental services was hosted. So they completely destroyed this data center, and it's not first cyber attacks that we are experiencing. There have been a lot attacks before February 24. We have this power grid hack in October 2015. We have this cyber attack using Petya ransomware malware in 2017. And we have a large attack in January 22 on governmental websites. And I just was a part of recovering team. And all these attacks, we understand that they are not, some random fraudster or some random hackers just have found these vulnerabilities in our system, just trying to exploit. We understand that all these cyber attacks has a much bigger actor than some one or two hackers. This is a government-sponsored attack groups, and we understand that all these cyber attacks was a part of something more larger. And in fact, they are continuing to attack our infrastructure even as we speak today. So during this webinar, we have already experienced a large scale of these cyber attacks, but we already have some lessons learned from our experience. And I want to share with you these 5 lessons from Ukraine about cybersecurity of your critical infrastructure. And first lesson is think about cloud infrastructure. Trying to develop one, because one of the options which have saved our governmental services was our experience to transfer our data center infrastructure to the cloud. And when your data centers under attack, your business continuity will depend on cloud. Even if you don't have this cloud infrastructure, you at least need to think about it, because I understand that for example, if you pick Great Britain, we understand that you are not under missile attack, so your data center is safe. But from our experience, when someone trying to damage your physical infrastructure, especially the infrastructure which connected to your governmental services, to your banking services, to your financial services, and even for your housing, you need to think about cloud. So at least to have a plan. How to use this cloud infrastructure, because in our experience it was very important. The second one, that the cyber essentials is the first line of defense. When the Russian cyber attacked our power grid, our governmental services, they use the same technique that used by fraudster. So this is phishing, this spamming. They're trying to exploit the human vulnerability, about stress, about this fraudster links. They use a lot of techniques which we already know about it from our general experience. And for example, they attacked both network management for power grid, the SCADA system, but they also attacked the office system of energy companies. So they're both vectors of the attack. And even if they was unsuccessful when they attack our power grid energy system, at the second time, they were successful when they attack the office workers. If you remember this case from the US, when they have a big explosion on the gas transmitting infrastructure, you will be very, I don't say disappointed, but at least you should know that the result of this gas explosion was a naked picture of some random model. Because someone said these viruses via this naked and with this nude picture, and someone opened this picture and it ended up with a gas explosion. So something like it hot is just start to be not a metaphor, but results as in the physical world. So if you forgot about cyber essentials, it doesn't matter how complicated your cyber defense system, because you forgot about if you forgot about simple things, you are not protected by the complex techniques. The third one is learn from your mistakes. Yeah, well, probably someone else's mistake is a better, but sometimes you have to learn your own. It's for Ukrainian government was a big challenge to think about the cybersecurity like someone which they are not sure about it. So they think they already protected. They think that already protected. They forgot that in cyberspace there's not like wall with which cannot be crossed. So if they think that this infrastructure is just impenetrable, and they continue to think like it is impenetrable, and it have a cost. So do not reassure yourself that your protection is impenetrable. Rather invest in constant system and system audit and monitoring. Because any IT system is penetratable. It's just a matter of time and resources. And from my point of view, it also a mistake not only Ukrainian government, but I saw this mistake in US government, and I think UK government has such kind of law. They think that the IT system is impenetrable. From my point of view, as a technical expert, I know that any system is penetratable. So you need to think about monitoring and auditing, not just you build one wall and it's enough for eternity. And that's why international cooperation is a key part of such kind of protection. You cannot protect yourself by yourself. You can do it with your army, but you cannot do it in a cyber space. You need to cooperate. The fourth lesson is a surprising one. You will need to attack. On some level, you need to attack your enemy. Yeah, it's military doctrine, states that the best defense is attack. But in the cyberspace, it's also a rule. So no matter how much you convince yourself that you are only defending yourself, but in cyberspace you have to attack, because sometimes it's only way to prevent much bigger threats.
Yeah.
So that's why if you're only thinking about defense, it means that enemy will find a flaw and start to exploiting it. That's why I understand that it's maybe sounds some surprising, that as a part of defense you need to attack, but this is a cyber world. It has a little bit different rules.
Yeah.
And the 5-1 create honeypot infrastructure. It is interesting one, because when you saw some Russian talks about how many Ukrainian weapons they destroyed, it is mostly fiction of their propaganda. But sometimes this is a result of Ukrainian cunning. The Ukrainian military created a lot of wooden dummies of various weapons. We create guns, wooden guns, create wooden HIMARS, wooden airplanes, and place them under Russian missiles. And sometimes for Russians it's very surprising because they think that on February 24th they destroyed all our air force, and they were surprised that we are still flying. They think, why we are launched so much missiles for your airplanes. Where you're hiding them? And the secret was very simple. We created a wooden airplanes and just place it in our aerodromes.
Yeah.
And this is the same logic that we applied in cyberspace. We creating a large number of the terminals with vulnerabilities, honeypots. We call them honeypots, and we're using these terminals to expose the Russian hacking groups, to identify the patterns of their behavior and use this knowledge to protect the critical infrastructure. So this is our 5 lessons from Ukraine. So think about developing cloud infrastructure. Don't forget about cyber essentials. Learn by mistakes, because if you forgot that your system is penetratable, it starts to be penetratable, and you will have to attack, not only defend your cyber infrastructure and create honeypot infrastructure. So this is 5 lessons from Ukraine point of view. And we also have this, experience from the company perspective, because our company is a part of this critical infrastructure. We are a data-driven system for KYC and AML. So we are using open governmental data to help the business how to check the counterparts, how to find some fraudster, and so on and so on. And after February 24, we start to create this tool for searching the Russian trails and sanctioned companies. So we start the activities that not very pleasant for Russian governmental bodies, and we are start to be an object of cyber attacks. And the reason why we are still here, why we are still working, why our business is still continue to work, because these 5 lessons. First one, we transferred our infrastructure to the cloud. The second one, we create a more strict information security and cybersecurity policy for our colleagues. We check all vulnerabilities and create a few honeypots just as a part of the monitoring system and alert system. And that's why we are still working in this field of open data, and developed our product for KYC AML, even under Russian missile attack and Russian cyber attacks. That's our experience. I understand. I'm trying to be short because I don't know how many times I have for such presentation, but it is our experience from Ukraine as a company and as a country.
That's absolutely fantastic, Mikhailo. Thank you ever so much for that. I mean, honestly, there's there's enough there for us to talk for a week, if you like. And so
I can share with you my experience how to create honeypot. It is not Winnie Pooh experience.
Well, yeah. No, it's very, very interesting, actually. So like you, I'm just like thinking about the time here, and I'm thinking about, you know, what we should go into here. And so I'm just going to say to you, I'll just take the honeypot thing for a minute, right? And I will just describe this vaguely because it's an ongoing thing, which you will probably know about, right? But actually, there's a lady that's not on here that wanted to come, that will definitely want to be seeing the video, right? And she basically has been scammed by fake Ukrainian soldiers, right? Okay, and her and another lady had been subject to this, and so they had decided to try and put a stop to it themselves, right? And you know, I won't go into too much detail because it's, you know, basically operational security on it because it's ongoing at the minute, right? But one of the funny things is that one of the ladies created a honeypot, right, of the perfect woman to for them to attack. Yeah, Jane's laughing in the background. Jane, I'll tell you about this in some detail another time, right? But the lady that happened to do this is, I don't know the right term to describe her. She's a psychologist, right? She's a researcher and that. And she said to me that she'd put together this honeypot, fake soldier and that, and then she'd put everything in it, right, that would attract them. And when you saw the list of things, it was quite funny, you know. So I won't go into too much detail on that, but as you mentioned, that was quite interesting. Now, tell me something here, Mikhailo, right? If I say to you, right, that what I heard was that basically the American, okay, this is the way the Americans put it, right? So you might not see this from your perspective, right? But what I heard was that the Americans were saying, oh, we warned Ukraine about this invasion in October or November of 2021, right? First of all, do you agree with that? Do you agree that there were warning signs put forward, if you like, by America, maybe by the UK, if you can say, or always if you can say, obviously.
In 2016, I worked as a part of the presidential team.
Okay.
And I work, with some. I developed a situation room for President of Ukraine.
Okay.
I also created some analytical procedures here, and we know that war is coming. But we already saw these things. We understand that it's inevitable, but we have a lot of belief in the international law and international partners. So we believe that we saw the signs, but maybe this craziness not started. I don't know. Maybe it's just just a mind games, without any substantial matter here.
Yeah.
But so we saw the thing even in 2016. So
okay.
When they say that they warned us in 2021, we already know it in 2016. But what we want to hear, not about the signs of upcoming war, we want to hear how to stop this upcoming war from start.
Yeah.
And this is the question that we don't have answer from our foreign partners.
Okay.
And this was our main concern because, from our analytical point of view, what happens in Afghanistan, from our point of view, start to be a trigger where the signs of upcoming war converted to the war.
Yes. Okay. So you're talking about the Russian invasion of Afghanistan.
No, I talk about how Americans left in Afghanistan.
Ah, I see. Okay.
They show their
I'm sorry.
weakness, and this start to be the trigger. So they
okay. I'm sorry.
from our point of view, Russian understands that they are not, they cannot ignore United States.
Right. Okay. Okay. So tell me this then, right? So okay. So you knew it was coming, right? So okay, the Americans are saying in whatever it was, October or November, look, this is going to happen, right? And you're going, yeah, we know. What are you going to do about it? Basically, yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what could you see happening cybersecurity wise, right? What, if you like, what was the trend? Was it, could you see this like, gradual trending up, if you like, of attacks, or what could you see that you can talk about during 2021, if you like, in the run up to February?
Yeah, there are few things which make this cybersecurity perspective is interesting. First one, the cyber attacks start to be not the one act. They try to use waves. So first wave is how to grab several credentials. So this attacks is to have as much credentials as they want to have. The second wave, they start to use these credentials to exploit certain vulnerabilities on a different level. So as they start from the bottom, they start to exploit some general people. After that, they try to be selective and only the attacks start to be industry orientated.
Yes.
So
okay.
First wave is the financial sector. The second one is hospitals. They try to exploit this digital health infrastructure. The third one, the governmental services, like governmental websites and internal document system.
Yeah.
And we understand that they don't try to disturb this system because this system is easy to recover. That's why we are just feel surprised on this situation, because it's easy to recover from backup. We already have this backup system. It's easy one. But we understand one interesting clue. They trying to grab as many information as they able to. So they gathering information from governmental bodies, about the militaries, about some maps, infrastructure, and so on and so on. So they understand that the personal data and gathering the best personal data is the best approach. So they gathered all this personal data. And after that, they're trying to stop this system to function. So in 2022, we was lucky. We was really lucky, because when they start to use this personal data to disturb our governmental system and other systems, they was uncoordinated. They was uncoordinated, and it helped us. It helped us to to successfully, reestablish a several defense line and defend themselves. So in 2021, they try to gather in this information. They trying to attack by waves, and they start to use an foreign infrastructure. They use German servers. They have used China's IP, and also we experienced some Iran IP addresses from Iran and from Africa. Well, and but their main goal is to gather information.
Yeah, that's okay. That's really interesting, and obviously from what you're saying, you could see this happening and you could track it, and the fact, it's sort of like as in virtual life, as in real life, it's their uncoordination which is their undoing type of thing, isn't it? Like in the same way that their military cannot do combined operations, they can't do it in the cyber world either, type of thing, which is interesting. Okay, now I just want to, again, I'm watching the timing here as well, Mikhailo, right? Within this, we've got about 20 minutes here. Within this 20 minutes, do you want to talk more about YouControl and RU assets, or are you okay to just carry on really just concentrating on the cybersecurity side of things?
I don't know if the audience are interested about this raw assets things, because we are, basically we are such kind of IT company which are using this open data, governmental data to find to understand the risk. So basically, it is digital risk management system.
Yeah.
Just in field of KYC and AML. And yeah, we can talk more about this risk, but I don't understand, is it interesting for our cybersecurity audience, because we are mostly technical people, not compliance officers.
Well, okay, I mean, I know some people, again, that couldn't actually make it here, right, who are very interested in RU assets, if you like, right, and in YouControl. So let's just spend a few minutes on it, right, just to understand it. Tell me this, right? So obviously YouControl existed first, correct?
Yeah.
And then when was RU assets? When was the idea of RU assets? When did that come about?
Well, this idea is developed from our investigation of the Russian assets in Europe and in UK and in US. So this foreign Russian assets.
Yeah.
So we are just investigated here using our open data tools, and we found one interesting moment, that the Russians use several hidden technique to hide from law enforcement, and we are interested about this technique and how you can uncover it using this open data. For example, like this Russian company Terra Group has a lot of the Cyprus companies, but if you look closely, you found that they have a different name. They called Areti, and this is just a backward spelling of Itera. So they just switch a few letters. And we found a bunch of these connected Cyprus companies that are used to transfer some actives, some monies, to contract values. And we said, wow, they using such kind of things to hide from us. Okay, what else they can do? And we found that they use a very interesting technique. We call them the jumping between jurisdiction, because you have a Canadian company which owns a Canadian, which owns as a company which are registered in British Virgin Islands, and this company owned by United Kingdom company, and this company owned by Germany company. So we understand one of the interesting challenge for a compliance officer. When you are trying to check only one company, you see only information from the UK registers, this company register, or from Germany register, or German register, or from Canadian, but you don't see any connection. So that's why we come out with this idea of RSS that can reveal such hidden links when you are connected as several company register in one place, in one shared place. So we are connected this register, and now we can see this connection between a different jurisdiction, and found this the central point which connected both of these networks. So they use a lot of this hidden technique, and we understand that sometimes open data with the right tools can be helpful for compliance officer to see such kind of risk, to see how they connected, and who is behind, and who is this beneficiary owners of such kind of business.
Well, it's sorry, go on.
Yeah. So this is a basic idea, to reveal some hidden techniques, hidden techniques from Russian assets. But as you understand, it's not only about Russians. So if you are connected, several company register from a different country, you can check, you can see not only a Russian connection, but any connection which can be revealed here.
Yeah, so obviously I know a bit about this now. I mean, it's obviously a vital tool, to assist, if you like, in prosecuting people, that are breaking the sanctions, isn't it? In particular, the sanctions on Russia. But I understand what you're saying, that it could equally be used, if you like, as a tool for, say, the sanctions on Iran or somebody else, or North Korea, correct? Yeah.
The sanction is the main purpose. Is why you check your counterparts. Why it's not enough that they say, okay, we are good company. Yeah. So their word against your word, it can be a tricky situation. But this tool is it's mainly used by sanction tracking, but it is just a protection of your business interest. It's just a security of your business, because you need to know, is it some risk which not available for you, which hidden from you. So so how to reveal it, because if you don't know who is your counterparts, it can be a risk for your business, and you need something that can show it. And it's more important that it's not too much time consuming. So you need to see this connection quickly.
Yes,
and you need to see it quickly.
Well, it's not much of a surprise that the Russians want to attack you, is it, when they realize all this data that you've brought together?
It is a money. The simple thing. If you try
follow the money.
If you follow the money, if you are someone who are you know, someone who is as a part of this money tracking team, you are target number one, or maybe
Exactly.
number two. Yeah, but you are in the list. You're on the list. Yeah.
Exactly. Michaela, Jane is. I see Jane here coming up, and I see her listening to this and that. Jane, did you have any questions that you wanted to put to Michaela? Because I can see that you're interested in what's being said.
No, I mean, I'm still learning all about it, Chris. And you know, for me, it's absolutely fascinating.
Right, great.
Incredible. So, no, I'm just enthralled by listening and watching.
Okay, great. Okay, well, I just wanted to give you the opportunity anyway, but and thank you for asking for the copy of that to pass on to whoever it was that you said
the client,
the client that you want to send it to. Yeah, Michaela, actually, you know, the RU Assets tool and that, right? It might be just worth saying, who do you see that being most useful for? What types of companies? So, like lawyers or accountants or compliance people. What do you think are the top, if you like, the top target market for RU Assets?
Yeah, from my point of view, it's a compliance officer at first. Yeah,
okay.
because as I said, it is a part of the risk management tools. So if you have the compliance officer which need to understand what risk we have when we have this deal, when we sign this contract. So the lawyers, I think, second one. Sometimes the compliance officer and the lawyers just the same people.
Yeah,
just same people. So compliance officer and also you know, mostly it is a large companies, because for large companies it's a main risk. It's a main risk because you need to manage it. You need to manage it. So banks and large companies with compliance officers and with lawyers are the main market for such kind, digitalization of compliance process.
Yes, I totally agree. I mean, I think actually, I don't know whether you would agree, and obviously everything's a bit mixed up, for you over there in Ukraine with the war, but generally out here, I think, risk and compliance and governance is really coming to the fore and is actually like driving methodology, if you like, in cybersecurity to a large extent. Would you agree?
Yeah, because a few years ago, compliance was just some toys. Like just let's play in compliance, because it's a fancy word, because it's something interesting. Let's do it. But few years later, they understand that compliance is not about playing some words or signing some contracts. Compliance is to protect your business. It is a main part of protecting your business, because if you are not compliant, you have some regulatory fines. You have a problem with your counterparts. You have a problem with the clients. You have a problem with your financial institution, and it start to hurt your business interest and start to hurt your business. And after that, compliance start to be a vital part for business, and not only just another person to talk in company and something like that.
Absolutely, yeah. You just sort of reminded me about something you probably haven't seen, but here in the UK, there's a company called the Interserve that was fined £4.4 million. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw this news.
You did, okay, but by the Information Commissioner's Office, and I think they basically fined them that, because they'd done literally nothing, you know, to protect themselves or their clients' data, you know. But it was quite interesting, the announcement, you know, because the ICO, or the representative of the ICO, basically said, and by the way, this is a message to everybody out there, that if you don't do anything, you're going to get fined £4.4 million as well. I'm just going to, you know, like, go back to cybersecurity and just talk to you about something, you know, that because it was very, very interesting. We don't have time to go into it, but it was very, very interesting that you talked about, you know, what we would regard as the basics of cybersecurity, and that as being important, right? And you know, often I say to people over here, I don't know whether you and I have discussed it, but I say to people here, look, you know, cybersecurity is firstly about leadership, then about people, you know, and the training of those people, then about processes, and then about technology. And you've probably heard that used before, right? And it seemed to me that some of that was reflected in what you were saying about, you know, the basic things that need to be done. Would you agree? Could you expand on that?
Yeah. Here in Ukraine, we are thinking that cybersecurity has two parts: the policy part and the technology part.
Yeah.
And it is important to have a both, because if you have only technology part, and you know, it's very seductive to have, because for COO it's important to be protected, and IT director just come in and say, okay, I have large technological thing and I already installed it. It costs a lot of money and it protects us from all threats of the world. Okay, so this technological approach has a flaw, because the progress of the cybersecurity defense and cybersecurity attack is alarming. So this expensive, you know, thing which you are think to protect your company is just useless after 3 months after the year. Without policy, this technology is useless after a certain amount of time. And it also if you stick with only policy without any technology, it also can be fragile for your company, because you have a good policy but you don't have any antivirus. Well, you need to have antivirus at least. So it's always a balance between this policy and the technology, and you have a good cybersecurity defense if you balance these two parts.
Exactly. And you know, people need to be educated about such simple things as being sent naked women, or I should say also naked men as well, correct?
Yeah, it's a different, you know, different targets.
Exactly. So, you know, assuming that we want to finish on time here, Michaela, is there anything, you know, I mean, we haven't been able to go through all of your 5 points, which are 5 lessons, which are really, really interesting. And you know, on each of them, I would have, you know, some questions about that. So we'll have to maybe do that another time or something, right? But you know, we should certainly get the presentation out that you've done with the 5 lessons on, because in itself that's going to be very useful for people. Jane's nodding and that, so we'll definitely will do that. By the way, I know I've got a friend of mine who a cybersecurity specialist, Leon, on here as well. I know that he's listening, but he wasn't able to, you know, he wasn't able to be seen, if you like, right? So we'll discuss this after as well. So is there anything else finally that, you know, that you feel that you want to emphasize, Michaela?
Yeah, I already want to mention that Katerina shared in our chat more information about YouControl, Android assets, and also she shared this link for trial, and maybe someone interested to use it for free.
Yeah.
So it's good to share this because I can show it on my screen, but you can take it from our chat.
Okay.
And share it if someone is interested with such kind of tools.
Okay. Well, we'll work out, how best to get this video out, and then we'll make sure that it's got all the information attached, if you like, as you suggested, and as Katerina wants to go out of that, and we'll get this as widely distributed as we can. Thank you, Mikhailo, for taking the time to come on and talk to us, during these extreme moments, and that I want you to know that we're all thinking about you and about the team. It's absolutely incredible what you guys and girls are doing. And people stress about putting presentation together and giving a presentation. And here's you guys doing it.
Yeah, keep calm and do your presentation. Yeah,
keep calm and do your presentation.
Yeah, so this is Ukrainian motto.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, I say that with Ukraine, the impossible you do at once, and miracles just take slightly longer.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yes, I just want you all to know that we're all thinking about you, and we're all doing our best to make sure that you get as much support as possible.
Yeah.
And with that, I'll say goodbye for now, and to the team as well, and hope to speak to you again soon.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you ever so much. It was fascinating.
Thank you, Jane. Thanks for attending. It's
No worries. Take care. Bye.
All the best. Bye for now.